from the class, who will identify these two given situations, and what you're going to do is to paste it in where you think it belongs. If it belongs to a change in curriculum or a change in environment.
Ako ma'am, take video.
Okay. So, my majority on hands up, I want to randomly pick a number from the class. Okay, number 2, boys. Nawala. Okay, let's move to number 3.
Na.
2.
Na 2.
Okay, so 2 boys and number
15.
11 girls.
32.
Okay, and by the way, I want to invite the those who participate in my class.
Mom, I'm the cameraman here.
Good, Jumar.
Ang cute to.
Rizal.
Thank you. Alright, thank you for your information. Now, can you please read the first scenario?
Miss Mariana's updated her outdated textbook to make it more engaging and relevant for her students.
Okay, is it belongs and change? Yeah. Alright. Now, if you were Miss Barrientos, will you do the same thing as she is?
Yes.
One younger here. Say yes. Wow. My class is so active today. Number 23. Again, if you were Miss Barrientos, will you do the same thing as she did? Yes. Okay. Miss number 23 says yes, thank you. Quiet class. Now, as Miss number 23 says yes, and why do you think is changing a curriculum important in inclusive classroom? Yes, number 28.
A change in curriculum in a classroom is very important because as a teacher, you have to be flexible, and by word flexible, you have to adapt to any terms of the curriculum changes in order to better cater the needs of your students.
Okay, now, can you please read the second situation?
Miss Gonzalez, the science teacher, rearranged her classroom setup because she noticed a lack of engagement and realized the environment wasn't conducive to science learning, as it was still set up for math.
Thank you. Now, do you think it belongs to change in environment?
Yes.
Of course. Now, the question is, how does the change in environment affect the students' learning? Again, how does the change in environment affect the students' learning? Who wants to answer? Yes, number
3 boys.
3 boys.
Yes.
Again,
Sabi ko, madamay.
Yes.
I figured it out. I was right.
Yes. How does?
Okay, so I believe that the change of environment is really important because it will, uplift and will give an emphasis to the efficacy of the teaching strategy and the learning styles of each and every student.
Yes.
Alright, now those opinions and knowledge are connected to our topic for today. And our topic for today is what do you think? Accommodation. Very good. Our topic for today is accommodation. Can you please read?
As the Lord provided to students to help gain full access to class content and instruction without altering the curriculum standards and competencies expected and demonstrate accurately what they know.
Alright, accommodation is an adjustment of the learning environment or the instructional methods without altering the curriculum. Like for example, class, when I was grade 7, I have a classmate na, are you familiar with Lugod?
Yes.
Kanang vision, impairments. Disabled visually. Now, so ang ikuha sa akong kanang maestro is i-change niya ang setting arrangement. Nga, wherein ang student, di butang kung asa siya mas makaklaro sa i-discuss sa maestra or sa isuan sa blackboard. Now, as sa Malugay, ang estudyante, ang sa katong classmate ako is kanang na siya din sa ikas nakakuan. Di ba sa high school is more on copy swat. Yan ang profession. I mean, ang secretary nila copy sa blackboard, hindi na mga classmate yung swat, copy sa swat. The next day is mag-discuss na ang isla.
Yes.
Now, ang akmas din naman din sa bigas niyo, wala na sa tipo sa blackboard, is hindi mo siya kita. Suluwi kayo siya, dito sa sao, kaya ano lang makakapti, kaya siya nakita sa bigas. Yan, nakabantay ang maestro, so iyang ipa-check ang bata. So, ang bata is, wala ka ng financial ba? Wala siya she is a working student, kaya nga ma-easily na maka-afford. So, nag-working siya, nandawag siya ako maka-spila. And then, mo to ang maestro na ako is, waman set sa singkudro ba? Wala ko yung G is a gay. Okay. And then, so iyang i-provide na ng bata. Then, having support in that visual impairments or disabled visual person is an example of accommodation because it's breaking barriers in how the content is delivered. Now, some people believe that having accommodation is unfair advantage. Do you think also in that way, or do you believe in that way also, that having accommodation is unfair advantage to other students in general classroom? Like for example, kita sa inyong klase, naman isa ka estudyante nga kanang di kita, isa yung nakaid na sa student. Now, think of them. Do you think it was more advantage than yours na walay ka ng eyeglasses? All among you here says yes.
What's the question, ma'am?
My question.
Is it unfair? Is it unfair or advantage sa nila nga na eyeglasses kaysa ninyo? No. Very good class. No, because it is your rights. Remember class, human rights or human education rights. So students have the right to access or to access education even if their abilities is not the same as other peers in the classroom. And remember class that when accommodations are provided or having accommodation is means that barriers exist. And a proper accommodation removes that barriers. Very good. Now, these accommodations are provided mainly in instructional and assessment depending on the students' learning profile and needs. It can vary in terms of presentation accommodation, response accommodation, sitting accommodation, and scheduling accommodation. And in short, the accommodations ensure that all students have the same level of access to education. Very good. Now, let's first tackle the first type of accommodation, which is the presentation accommodation. Can you please read the definition?
Children with disabilities may need specialized presentation formats, especially those with sensory impairments, so they can learn the same content alongside technically developing peers.
Alright, so presentation accommodation aim to remove the barriers related to how the content is delivered. Like for example, in the class na ay student kaya dili ka kita. So, ang maestra may use the big font size or the clear penmanship in the class, like the board. Another example is for those student nga who have or who has auditory impairments or mag-listen of dungo. So, you will provide, as a teachers, you will provide a video presentation. And you can also put a subtitle to the video you provided. So that the student can learn through hearing the sounds. And at the same time, they can they can learn through reading the caption. Alright, next is, we have response accommodation. Please read.
Allow students with disabilities a variety of ways to complete assignment, written tests, performance tasks, and other activities.
Alright, giving the various ways to students so that they can comply the given task or the schoolworks that teachers have given. So, let's for example, ang bata. So, sa sunod sa klase, kintahan, for example, Miss Matutina is a teacher. And then, sa sunod sa iyang klase is naa siya student with ADHD or attention
Deficient hyperactive
hyperactive disorder. So, know that class, ang student or a child with ADHD has or have a impulsivity disorder or symptoms. And then, impulsivity means
impulsive behavior.
doing action without
Thinking.
o ditso lang. Kunya, ang nakita mo is si Miss Matutina, si Teacher Matutina, is nagkatag task or activity. And then, ikaw siya nag-ingon nga, okay class, page number 95, do the activity. And then, ang bata, nga na-ADHD is ni-teacher lang siya, so what we not reading the direction. So, ang nakita mo is, or ang resulta is, ang bata is, nahuman matuod siya, pinuwa na maong. Tungod kay wala siya nibasa sa instruction. And then, ang dibuhat sa maestra is, iyahang ipadoon ang doon niya ang bata or iyahang i-accommodate ang bata, iyahang i-ingnan niya. Usman iyahang clarify ang instruction so that ang bata makapunta ang given niya task in general classroom. Nasabtan ra?
Yes.
Alright, next is the third type of accommodation is
Setting accommodation.
Changes in the location or conditions of the educational setting or environment may be necessary for students who need support in terms of behavior, attention, and organization of space and materials.
Alright, a change in location or learning environment to students so that they can learn the same learning as other peers. Like for example, sa sulat sa klase, sa una yung ka ng sila sa una is not by room for disabled person. So karon most of so sa una class, share lang inakuha. Sa una, when I was elementary, na may classmate niya, wala may pawag sa iyang sakit, pero kanang hug siya, dili siya ka-focus bitaw kanang dili siya ka-focus.
Autism siguro.
I don't know kung autism ba or ADHD. Yes, basta kay na isa ka time is nagbabasa akong extra. Una, ang nakita ko is silent reading. Siya is dili pa siya comprehend sa story with silent reading. So, iyang ibasa ko. So, ang iyang dapat is nag-igramo. Kaya siya kay nag-focus, dili siya ka sabot sa story. So, ang ibuhat sa mga maestra, sakto pag kaya ang luyos ang muruhan ko is bitinganan nila. So, iyang ibalhin ang bata. Kaya ano masabta niya ang mas makasabot ang bata sa dibasa without any distraction sa other students sa general classroom. So, that's example of setting accommodation. The change in environment or class, if you know that you have student like that, so yung pattern, will you do the same thing as
Depende if na free nga room or something.
yes, depending on the situation, no? Pero, much better just go accommodate to mo nga bata para to reduce the distraction to that person or that child and also to the other children inside the classroom. So it is important again to give the city accommodation because if you accommodate the children or students in different settings, it can reduce the distraction to the students itself. And also it reduces the distraction to other students inside the classroom. So that's not the city accommodation.
Yes.
Alright, thank you. The next, we have the last types of the accommodation in which is scheduling accommodation. Please read.
Changing time development, schedule, tasks, and assessments, and managing of time are some types of scheduling.
Alright, the changing time allotment. So this is common even with us now in college. So like for example, class, ang atong instructor is maghatag ng activity. So, kita so tag 8. Ipapass within 10. Kaya 10 na mag-end. So, ang maestra is parang student nga wala naman sa activity ang natag sa maestra. Kasi buhat sa maestra.
Extend yung time.
Mag-extend of time. So that's an example of scheduling accommodation. Extending the time. So may kung maestra nga, okay, pass na lang natin yung within 3. Kaya naaman, hindi na tumali kaya inside the classroom na adjoin later. Learners or slow learners. So as a future teachers, you need to remember that you will need to accommodate children so that they can succeed. They can succeed in education the same as other peers. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that Sandra?
Yes.
Another example class, breaking the task breaking between the tasks. Like for example, ang maestra is tingtay karon mag-discuss ang maestra. So mag-discuss ka ba? And next mag-discuss gihapon. Kasi buhat ang maestra after mag-quiz. Kaya susunod sige na lang nag-discuss or sige na lang kanang quiz. Ang bata is dili jud siya kanang like magpapayon sila boring. Diba? Dili na sila motivate to learn. So, nasabtan na ang accommodation?
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure class that you remember accommodation because later we will have a quiz. Is there any clarification in accommodation? Okay, very good. And now let's move on to modification. Read.
Curriculum modifications are provided for students with significant or severe disabilities where content expectations are altered and the performance outcomes are changed in relation to what are expected of typically developing students at the same age.
Alright, it changes in curriculum so that the students are have a chance to learn as what other peers have learned. Alright, nasabtan na?
Yes.
Now, example class. My cousin is an ICT teacher. Sa mga ICT strategy pang senior high. Alright. Diba sa senior high, especially in grade 12, more on assessment, diba? And then, ang iyang assessment is isa niya kaswedring blindfold rapid typing. Alright, so mas sa senior high, sa grade 12, o Isadora, ang assessment is rapid typing. Good. And then, naay sadly sa iyang class is kahit sa estudyante kay general classroom malagi public eskwelahan. Dahil nagpa-enroll niya, walay gamot. Yes, di ba naman siya na kailangan like ang hinataman ba? Pero friend siya. So ang ibuhat sa maestra is iyahang i-change ang content or the task nga pwede sa bata or appropriate to the needs of the student. Ang iyang ibuhat is although like
Kamo siguro siya og
pero ang ibuhat is iyahang
ngano or baba.
iyahang ipasa ko, iyang ipa-memorize ang usay dapat aning kanang case, di ba? Sa keyboard ko kaya dapat aning kay naman siya kanang case kaya dapat aning ang finger or yung finger. So, iyahang i-change ang content so that ang student or ang katong batang welcome is maka-learn gihapon the same as what other peers or other students inside the classroom have learned. Nasabtan ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so accommodation or with instruction, assessment, and modifier, students are still given a chance to learn the same learning as other students inside the general class, but with respectful tasks and appropriate tasks to their abilities and needs. Nasabtan na?
Yes.
Alright, now, is there any wala na siya clarification? Okay, now, let's move on to application. Your activity, I want you to design a visual representation of an inclusive classroom incorporating accommodation and or modification that would help all students. So I want you to look into this is the first group and this is the group 2. Alright, now, ang iyong pattern is, group 2 is, ang iyong topic is, modification. And then, the group one yung topic is accommodation. So, ang iyong pattern is, you will decide a general class and where na-incorporate ang accommodation and modification. Alright, and I need to volunteer from each group who will explain their design here in front. Okay, I will give you 5 minutes.
Criteria.
And sa inyong pagsabot-sabot, I want to give the criteria. Content, 30%. If your design are relevant and accurate to your topic. And next is creativity. You have 20% if your design demonstrate a unique perspective to your topic. And third one is clarity. You have 20% also if your design is clear and understandable or it is organized. And lastly, you have the impact. You have 30% if your presenters effectively communicate or explain what you design. Okay? Kumana? Yes. Alright, first group, you can explain your design here. Alright, explain your design. How about group 2? Alright, say that you have learned a lot in my session today. Now, let's move on to assessment. Please read the direction.
Identify the following questions and write your answers in a 1/2 sheet of paper.
Alright, can you get the 1/2 sheet of paper? Dili na siya as sheet. First question in a 1/2 sheet of paper. You have 10 minutes to finish the
Di ba lipas?
Go in silence, please.
Di ba pag-ihap ko lang po?
What type of accommodation helps students demonstrate their knowledge in various
It's provided for students. Mag-ahap sila.
You have 8 minutes left. Again, the last rule is to focus on helping your seatmate with the process, not the final answer.
To remove barriers na tayo accommodation. Pwede. Ito tayo kailangan. Presentation, accommodation, visual.
Is that the white ball pen? Excuse me, sorry.
For man ang accommodation. Dapat mata, lain na ba ako ngayon? Accommodation ganito. Ay, nabali modification, no?
Huh?
Napamali modification.
5 minutes left.
Provided for students with severe disabilities where content expectations are altered.
Sakto. Accommodations. Kita na ako. Number 4, lagi accommodation.
Okay, mas una ba yung accommodation po?
Do it silently, please.
Ayun, masih mong ballpen day.
Ano na ba yung pagsabi?
Ito ba na? Response.
Number 1, response accommodation.
Ano yung response?
Okay, number 5 daw. What is the main reason for giving accommodation to students with disabilities? So, kung gamin ako sa discussion, mag-alas naman.
Lagi. Response.
Pwede na kung gagmay, ay na lang taas tayo.
One paragraph, ma'am. Madayete.
Isa na ba wala talagang required kanina? Oy, ha naman.
Ma'am, ang tig-video.
Ma'am, ang picture up sa gabi din.
Okay, thank you for your... Three minutes left.
Cute. Ito, malis ba ito? Napipan.
Ang sa letters.
What's in your goal? Not your goal as Nate.
Isa mo na. For those walang pa, 2 minutes left.
Come kasi ko, don't look in any direction ahead.
Ito na picture na.
I can see you. Okay, done?
Yes po, ma'am.
1 minute. Finish or not, exchange your answer to your seatmate. Let's check. Change na, change.
Exchange your papers.
Okay, number 1, can you read?
What type of accommodation now lets them create their knowledge in various ways?
That's your response. Very good. Number 2.
And our students has trouble paying attention in class, what type of accommodation might help? Set A.
Very good. Number 3.
It is provided for students with severe disabilities where content expectations are harder. Modification.
Modification. Very good. Number 4.
This is provided in general education classroom for children with disabilities.
accommodations to students with disabilities.
One more you hear, one sponsor. Okay, number
32.
32.
Giving accommodation to students help them cater with their needs inside the classroom. Accommodation supports students with disabilities to fill their needs. In addition, accommodating students can lift up their confidence for being included inside the classroom.
Alright, very good. One point on the Sige na answer. Yes, number 2.
What is the main reason for giving accommodations to students with disabilities is to ensure that all students have the same level of access to education.
Ako ma'am, nailang idea.
Okay, each one to prepare for work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Tuloy na sa boarding house ka nun na. Ay, kabitsura pa na na. Monthly na dahil dili na isa ka buwan.
Alright, class, for your assignment, please study the next topic. Okay? And now I conclude that inclusion is not providing a space where the students belong, but it is creating space where all students and they're not other peers belong. Okay? Okay, class, I am Arjun Lugod and signing off as your teacher.